guys, it's Mr. Slaybaugh here, and this is a percussion lesson for page 17. Look at the top of the page and you can see there's some blue stuff up there. And the blue talks about rhythm and time signatures. So let's get started with that at the very beginning. On the left, it says rhythm, and there's a dot, and a dot adds half of the original note value to the note. So if you have a half note, and that's worth 2 taps of the toe right now, and you were to cut it in half, you'd add another count onto it, and now it's worth 2 plus 1, 3. What if you had a whole note? Cut it in half. A whole note's worth 4 taps of the toe. Cut it in half. Now it's worth 2 taps of the toe. 4 plus 2 is 6. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of math here, but it's not a big deal, okay? And we're introducing that concept to you because you're going to see it a lot coming up, and you need to be comfortable with it. And don't worry, it's not that big a deal. You'll get it. I'm not worried about it, nor should you be, okay? But they do introduce dotted half notes. It's found in number 61, and it's found all throughout the piece. So you'll get a chance to see that. How do you play a dotted half note on a snare drum? Well, depends on how it's written. But we'll definitely play the start, and then the rest of the count just happens. Now, if there's a buzz roll on that, which there isn't, but let's say there is, it would last for 3 counts, 3 taps of the toe. 1, 2, 3, off. That's how long it would last if it were a dotted half note. Now, look at the next one over in blue, and it's time signature. Now, a time signature at this point in your career, the way the book says it is correct, but I'd like you to think of it a slightly different way so that it will work for the rest of your musical career, all right? So there's 2 numbers, and they tell you how many notes are in a measure. The top one tells you how many, so it can be 1 to 100. You don't see 100 much, but it could be. The bottom number tells you which note is in that measure, or how many of the top number. So if we have 3, that would be 3, and if we had 4 on the bottom, 4 represents a quarter note. 2 represents a half note. 1 represents a whole note. So if you had 3, 1, it would be 3 whole notes, or its equivalent in a measure. If you had 4, 1, it would be 4 whole notes in a measure. 4, 2 would be 4 half notes in a measure. 4, 4, we skip over 3. 4, 4 is 4 quarter notes in a measure. It's really pretty simple, and it's just a way they use to organize the music. It's not a fraction, so there's no multiplication or division involved either. There's nothing that you have to worry about there. It's just 2 numbers that tell you how the music is divided throughout the course of what the composer has written. And then looking on the right, now we get to that goldenrod or yellow, and it says terms and symbols. And now we're getting into dynamics. And dynamics mean how loud or how soft any particular musical passage is. And in this case, they're introducing you, well, let me back up a little bit. So way back when, music didn't have dynamics written in it. It was just told to you by the person who taught you or composed a piece how loud or soft a piece would be. And then as people started distributing music and the composer couldn't get there or the teacher couldn't get there to teach, they had to have a way for the person to read the music and understand that this was supposed to be soft and this was supposed to be loud. And it was the Italians who invented it, so you'll see that all dynamics are in Italian. Piano means soft, and forte means loud. And some of you may have or have seen a piano in your home. But do you know that's not its real name? Its real name is pianoforte because it was the first keyboard instrument that could play both soft and loud. We just call it a piano now. We just cut the name short, but its real name is pianoforte. So there's a little trivia for you, huh? Okay, now let's look at some of our drum passages, okay? Look now at number 62, Encounter in 3, okay? You're gonna see there's a rest, and there's buzz rolls, and there's a dotted half note on the snare line. Now there's three lines if you have the full book. And we're playing on the bottom line that says SDBD, and we're only playing the snare drum part, okay? So you'll see that there's a quarter note, and then quarter rest and 2 quarter notes. Quarter rest, 2 8 notes, and a quarter note, okay? Let's say the rhythm first. It's gonna be slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, say. Rest, 2, 3, rest. Buzz, buzz, tap, rest, 2, 3, rest. Buzz, buzz, tap, rest, 2, 3, rest. Buzz, buzz, tap, rest, 2, 3. Dotted half note, 2, 3, off. Repeat this until you get that rhythm correct. Now, when we go to play it, you're going to notice there's no sticking on it. So I want to make sure that you're correct on the rhythm. Really important. Let's talk about grip very quickly, just to refresh our memory. Sticks divided into 3 equal portions. On the third, towards the butt of the stick, you're going to put your thumb and your first finger so it creates a pivot point. Then you're going to take your fingers and wrap them around the stick. You're not going to hold them in a death grip. You're just going to touch the stick at all times. Touch the stick. You need to touch that stick so you know where the stick is. Stick is allowed in rapid musical passages to move from here to here, or in buzz rolls. But it's not allowed to do this, flopping around in your fingers, or heaven forbid, not touching your fingers at all, okay? And to play a buzz, all you're gonna do is provide a little space here. I'm still touching with my fingers. I'm just touching very lightly. The stick doesn't move much unless you're slamming it hard, and you don't need to. You want to keep that buzz even and consistent all the way through. Even and consistent. Don't play them high. If you go high, that means the stick's going to want to bounce back, and if you grab that stick, it's going to sound like this. That's not pleasant. What if you don't grab the stick and you play high? Now you've got no control over the stick. So we play it low because in rapid musical passages, you need to control how high you play on drums, okay? Now let's try playing this, since we already counted it once, and it'll be slow. So, good posture. Sticks are at a good playing position. It means it's just slightly above the surface, slight downward angle. We've got our pivot points and our fingers are touching the sticks. We tap our toe. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. Buzz, buzz, tap. Rest. 2, 3, rest. Buzz, buzz, tap. Rest. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, stop. How'd you do? Repeat it several times so you get really good at it. And sticking, it just has to be hand to hand. Whichever hand you'd like. No worries, it's not a big deal if the rhythm's correct. Okay? Let's go on now to number 63. And it's the first time in the book that you get introduced to any dynamics. And this one is soft piano. Okay? And it's in 3/4 again. And there's a pickup. It starts at count 3. Again, we're playing the snare drum part at the bottom of number 63. Let's count that rhythm together. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, play. 3, flam, rest. 3, 1. Buzz, 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 buzz. 1, 2, and 3. Buzz, buzz, 3. Flam, rest. 3, 1. Buzz, 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 buzz. 1, 2, and 3. 1, rest. Look at the last measure. What's funny about that? Shouldn't there be 3 counts in that measure? The time signature says there's 3 quarter notes in every measure. Where did the third count go? It went to the beginning, where the pickup is. Remember that? It's back in the book. So we had a pickup measure, okay? Now, it's soft, so which means we don't play high. We play low to the surface, because low is soft. Let's try playing it together, slowly and accurately. So if you didn't get the counting when we just counted it, rewind and count it several times till you get it right, okay? Here we go, gang. This tempo, good posture, tapping toes, sticks in good playing position. Make sure that you have your hands touching the sticks. 1, 2, 3, rest, rest. 3, flam, rest. 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, stop, flam, rest. Left, right, left, and 3, 1. How'd you do? I didn't talk about sticking on this because I really want you to get the rhythm correct. But go back and practice the sticking. It gets you more comfortable with reading stickings, and you'll need to practice it several times, okay? Let's see if I can take this a little bit faster. Now, don't go faster until you practice it several times and that you're comfortable at the slow tempos. Here we go. Good posture, tapping toes, sticks are in good playing position, you have a proper grip. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. 3, 1, 2, rest. 3, 1, rest. Okay? You don't need to go faster than that. Did it sound good? Was it controlled? Did you have good flams? Remember, a flam is just a low note and a high note together. You don't push, you don't press. Just lift and drop. That's how you get a flam, okay? Let's go on now to 64. And you'll see the little yellow reminder in that it's forte, so it's loud, okay? And you'll see that it is in common time, 4/4, 4 quarter notes in the space of a measure, or its equivalent, okay? And there's a first and second ending on this one. So that's kind of neat. Remember how you have to go play, you get to the first ending, play, and you get to the repeat sign, and you have to go wee, back over to the front. Then you play the first two measures, but you got to the first ending, so you already played it, so you have to go to the second ending, and then go till you get to the ending. Okay? Practice that several times. Wee, you'll get it. Let's count it slowly. Okay? Here we go. Don't worry about sticking, and don't worry about being loud right now. Let's get the rhythm right. Tapping toes. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, rest. 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Beginning 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Second ending, rest. 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, rest. Okay? I want you to practice the rhythm several times. Don't worry about the flams. Don't worry about sticking. Get the rhythm correct. Because ultimately, the sticking and the flams, they don't matter if the rhythm's wrong. You want the rhythm correct. Okay? Now, if you're correct on the rhythm, let's move forward and let's play it. Okay? So, good posture. Drums at the right height. You have a pivot point and your fingers are around the stick. You're making a V and they're just slightly over the top of the head. Here we go. And it's loud, so which means we're going to play higher. 1, 2. And 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. Beginning. Second ending. Rest. Now that was good and loud. And see how high my stick was? And my sticks, they were the same height all the way through, and they sounded the same. There's no accents, so you don't need to hit anything harder. And when I played a flam, I just had one stick low, one stick high. That's how you play a flam. There's nothing fancy to it, okay? Practice that several times till you get the rhythm right, until you get the flams correct. And that it sounds good. I mean, you want to sound good, don't you? Everybody does, okay? Now, let's move on to number 65, the last one on this page. And it's, I've just come from Sydney. It's in 3/4 time, 3 quarter notes, or its equivalent in the measure. You're going to see that there's soft, piano, and forte, loud, in it. And when you get to the loud section, there's some accents. Now, when you play an accent forte, so your stick's going to be this high, you just need to go a little higher. Just a little higher. That's all. It doesn't need to be any harder, any more downward pressure. You don't slam, you never whip. You just lift and play. Okay? Keep it consistent. Let's say the rhythm first. Slowly. Okay? Here we go. It's in 3/4, and there's a pickup. So it starts on count 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. 3 and 1, 2. 3 and 1, 2. 3 and 1 and 2. 3, 1, 2. 3 and 1 and 2. 3 and 1 and 2. 3 and 1, 2. 3 and 1, 2. Stop. Look in the last measure. It's incomplete. There's not 3 quarter notes or its equivalent because there's a pickup measure. Okay? Now notice I didn't say the buzzes. I just said the rhythm behind it. I want you to practice that multiple times because all drumming is rhythms. Always rhythms. Okay? You just put different buzzes or flams to make them sound fun. Okay? Now, if you finish that and you're really good at that, let's try playing it. It'll start slow. I'll do it one time slow, one time fast. Okay? Good playing position, good posture. Sticks have a pivot point. Fingers are around the sticks. They're slightly above the drum surface, and we're tapping our toe. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 2, 3, and 1, 2. How'd it go? Do you see how the accents were just higher? They weren't louder, they weren't harder. They sounded louder because they were higher. And I held onto my stick the whole time. And even when I played a buzz roll, I didn't play it quite as high at forte as I did the taps, okay? Because I wanted it to sound consistent, okay? So that ends page 17. I want you to practice. I want you to have a great time. And when you're finished with this comfortably, you can move on to the next page, okay? I hope you have fun. Thanks, guys.